All right, there we go. I think this goes live much faster than anticipated. Let me move this a little bit over here so you can see my mic on TikTok. I wish TikTok saved the lives. Oh, there we go. There we go. I wish. All right, now we're live on TikTok. Good stuff. Good stuff. What's up, guys? Tech Tony here. Busy as hell, trying to make my content. Still drinking breakfast. It is what it is. But welcome to today's live stream. I am continuing what I was doing last week on my podcast, and that is going over retargeting in general. Like I said, this is something that's very detailed information. Really can't just go over it in like one go or even two goes. This could literally, there are marketers out there that literally make their living off of solely retargeting. Like that's all they do is retargeting ads with their clients. You have to have an already active account, already doing something just to invest into retargeting. So, and whoever's watching, let me know. It says private chat, but I don't know what the heck. I'm still figuring out I'm still learning the new programs, playing with it, trying it out. Seeing what it does. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this going. Oh, hang on, not private chat. Comments? I don't think it's commenting on my Facebook page, but that's okay. The good news is I have my recording equipment downloaded back up here, so I'm not using straight off Anchor, which that episode did not turn out very well, and I couldn't re-record it. So at least if you're going to listen to the podcast version, it's sound much better than it did last week. But with that being said, let's get going. Part 2, types of retargeting. Let's get this show on the road. What's up, guys, and welcome to the Tech Tony podcast, and this is part 2 of retargeting. So I highly recommend, if you haven't had a chance to listen to last week's episode, go back to there. You won't be lost per se, but you might not catch some of the terms or phrases that I'm going to be saying in this podcast. Now, I do want to ask for your forgiveness. Last week's podcast, and probably the one before that, if I remember correctly, were not quite recorded to the best quality because I was still working with my setup, playing with some equipment. I still am, but I have my original Audacity recording system now set up, so we have some good, better quality audio. I really am trying to make things better, improve on this, but it is what it is. All right. And with that being said, let's go and hop into and get started with today's podcast. So, types of retargeting. Since not all leads are the same, there are several ways to retarget. Let's think of an example offline. If you met someone and realized in conversation that they had considered buying from you in the past, you tried repitching to them differently depending on the product that they wanted. Whoops. If they were looking for a landscaping and wanted an irrigation system, you wouldn't tell them about the benefits of mulch. Your recommendation would probably not be as successful because it simply wouldn't be as relevant. So basically, all retargeting ads won't necessarily work the same way for every of your visitors. So you have to group them. This is what retargeting ads target and how we define them. So in short, if someone's already been to your site and they've shown interest in it, you don't want to serve them up the same exact ads. Oh boy, a text just came through from a client that I kind of need to respond to, but not really. Okay, let's get this. Let's continue on, shall we? So target according to their behavior. So primarily there are two basic groups in which you can target previous visitors to your website, not new visitors, previous visitors, those who are interested and those who are not. And it can be fairly simple to tell the difference between the two. Okay. Interested users engage with your website, spend time scrolling through or visiting other pages. They want to find out features, specs, and pricing before they leave. Non-interested users enter and bounce off the page within seconds. This means they exit without engaging with your website or the content in your website. So which one do you think you want to target more often? You want to target those who show interest since they'll be more efficient and affordable to convert. This doesn't mean that not interested people won't eventually be your potential buyers. They're just way harder to convince. And those types of conversions tend to be a little bit more expensive. Focus your efforts on the first group. Additionally, you can also target interest users into more groups depending on what exactly you do on your website, but this is a pretty general place to start. Targeting according to time. What is retargeting ads according to time? This is how Google and Facebook, as of this recording, determine when a user gets added to your retargeting list after they visit your website. How long after leaving do they start to see your ads in other places? We've all seen those. We've all been victims of them. Those retargeting ads that kind of just chase you around. Some of them are crazy aggressive. Some of them are not. This kind of depends. This is important because even though you want that purchase sooner rather than later, modifying the automatic 30-day time frame these platforms provide can trigger a strange feeling in your users. If you've ever heard of someone complain about a product or a brand chasing them all over the internet, that's a highly likelihood that they're starting to see those ads way too soon after visiting that particular page and felt rushed into completing the purchase. Remember, you don't want to be that people. We've all been victims of it. Remember, there's reason your lead wasn't ready to complete the purchase right at that moment. Allow them to consider it in further before you present an offer or an alternative. There are exceptions to this rule. Obviously, this doesn't apply to all products, goods, and services on the internet. So do your due diligence and do some market research and see when is a good time frame to start retargeting. How does this work? As mentioned before, you can start retargeting by gathering data from your users when they visit. You don't necessarily have to request information outright. That takes time, which the user can use to browse and consider buying. Instead, you can try using a retargeting pixel. So what's a retargeting pixel? When you arrive at a website, or when you arrive at most websites these days, you see a request to accept cookies. This is a question to allow a pixel to do its job. A pixel is a JavaScript code that you put on your website or landing page, which drops in anonymous cookies into the user's browser. These cookies then tell Google Ads or Facebook which ads to show them in case they're yours, or which ads not to show them as well. So remember, setting retargeting goals. There is a purpose to this. Why are they here? What are you doing as a seller? Goals. Goals are important and must be completed. And way too often, people are just too lazy and they just have a website and it looks pretty. That does nothing for you. As with any other marketing strategy, you can never start without first setting clear, very clear goals for what you hope to achieve at the end of a campaign. While you're creating your goals, it's important that you keep in mind your target audience and the actions you hope they are taking after they see your ad. Next, you're going to want to decide what type of ad will be best suited for this target persona at the stage of lead nutritioning. Basically, find a balance between introducing yourself and then pushing the sale according to how well they know you already. So now you're going to figure out whether you want them to remember or buy from you after seeing this ad. Here is what those goals might mean to you. So first off, there's awareness. If your goal is awareness, you want your users to be aware of you to keep you in mind. They will find out about your offer, your features, and any other announcements you may have. If users haven't really connected with you very much, awareness ads work well on a large scale. They can also be followed by a conversion ad later on down the line. Conversions. Now, if instead your goal of retargeting is to convert, this means those users are more familiar with you. They know what you're about. This may be return buyers, for example. Maybe they've tested a free trial or they come to you in one of your events or they've interacted with you in your business somehow. Content creation is great for this. Create an ad that directs them to a landing page where they can convert on something very specific. No one watching. Sorry, I'm thinking reading. If I'm drawing a blank because I'm reading, I'm taking a look at this, I'm really trying to understand my own notes and what my thought process was when I was doing this type of stuff. All right. So this is where I'll mean to toot my horn. Pathfinder Digital Marketing, we tend to be different in our ad creation. For each registered audience or target, you will have to create a separate ad. If your marketer is lazy, they're not going to do this. Remember, you can't just keep serving them the same thing over and over and over again. Remember, all audiences are different and might be in different stages of consideration or have varied reasons for wanting to buy something from your business. With separate ads for each target audience, you'll address each in a way that they will find appealing. Keep in mind that certain ads will look better on certain platforms. This is where it comes to mind that you need to have a marketer that actually does their job and research and designs your ads to be very specific when retargeting your current customers or new customers. So, what are some main elements of an ad? Well, first off, a catchy headline. Don't overextend trying to say everything in the character limit. Remember, your headlines can't be too big. Look at Facebook, they'll disqualify you. Speak to your users in a language they understand, with something that sparks interest, curiosity, or even their feelings. Next is your media. You want something that draws the eye, but doesn't necessarily take over to the point where they don't read the rest. It's a tough balance, but with a good copywriter and some good content, you can do it. Just make sure the headline and the copy match the media. Okay, don't be making stuff up. All right, the copy. Your copy should be interesting, to say the least. Stats work great, so do quotes. Give viewers a reason to want to learn more about you, your products, goods, or services. And please, the most important part, a clear call to action. Speaking of a learn more, that's actually a common call to action on ads. Choose a call to action that's a yes, like calls, or your users to do something. Buy now, get an offer, or something to that effect. Every single one of these elements plays its part to create a well-rounded ad that will keep your viewers engaged, motivated, and best of all, understood. Creating an ad that is able to reach all these people, these audiences, using every point on the list will be the key to you connecting with your customers to a level that most brands may not, and essentially lead to what you need, a transaction. This way, you'll be different yourself and you will stand out of your industry. In fact, you'd be surprised how much long-term good a creative ad can do for a business. Remember, you got them once off an ad. How many more times can you resell to that person? After all, everyone can remember an ad that touched them or is important to them so much that they will never forget about it. If you could be that, if your ad could reach someone to that point, wouldn't you want to use it on a target audience that converts the most? So, in conclusion, I hope that this two-part series has been able to help you take aim and getting you more comfortable to start having these conversations with your marketer and start building these designed custom ads for them. My goal was to hopefully help you learn retargeting ads, how they work, what benefits are, and how to create some of your own. Now, go out there and start making them. And if you have any questions or concerns, hit me up at Tech Tony on Twitter or any of my other platforms. I'll be more than happy to help you. And until then, happy marketing. All right, that's over. I am going to do what I gotta do, stop the broadcast, and continue on. Y'all have a great week. Talk to you later.